It is a world of darkness. The sin of Cain has spawned the cursed horror that stalks the night in search of living blood. The kindred have long been a secret influence through all ages of human history, plotting against each other in a never-ending jihad. Their immortal progeny are among us to this day, hidden from the eyes of humanity by an elaborate masquerade.
burn it at both ends. I like the fire causing mayhem. I'm not tired, I've been waiting, I'm not forsaken. I'm my own and I'm jaded. Energy comes from my hatred. Call me the villain, cause I be killing. I got no feeling, I've been dealing with all my demons. I like to feed them, they be chilling, yeah they be screaming. I can hear them in my mind, they just wanna find any fight, any reason.
Dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light, I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst, I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
Have to be working to deserve it. Adrenaline is surging, ain't no serving. I'm the king, bring me everything that I've ever wanted, that I need. I believe I could be anything, watch me. Give me a second to blow, give me a second to grow. Be at the top of the show, be at the top like a pro. I flip the switch, different mode. No, they ain't laughing, no joke, cause I attack when they won't.
Welcome to the dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light, I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst, I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
Okay, here we are. We are back, and that last song that started playing is the London Club 10. That is from Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. So if you've ever played that first game that they put out, and it was the funky Sedite Temple rave club that you first hit up when you make it into the modern era with Christoph. That's one of the first locations you run into. So they actually had that bump in music in there.
Nice.
I can't admit to being that old, Jerome.
Well, I can.
That doesn't say a lot because, as we both know, I am rather older than you.
By a smidge. by a smidge.
Yeah, you actually beat me. Usually I'm the oldest one in the group, so I was happy.
You know, that happens a lot to me now when I play Vampire.
Badges of honor.
Right.
Yes.
So
I don't know that it works that way.
Well, I mean, that's usually how it comes up. It's usually like, well, back in my day.
No, I've stopped saying that song. It does not get me with chicks anymore.
Right. That's a good point.
When I wanted to play D&D, I walked 5 miles barefoot
Both
in
ways.
the snow.
Yeah.
I did not live in Norway or Sweden, sorry.
Yeah. Well, half of that is true for me. I would either walk or ride my bike. And oftentimes it was somewhere between 5 to 8 miles. And if you know anything about old school D&D, obviously there were no computers to put that stuff on. So you lugged around like 40, 50 pounds of books.
Yep, remember those days? Yep.
So,
God, yeah.
I had my duffel bag.
Yep, I had a an old military Alice pack that I would throw them all in,
Oh, nice.
and then how they had built-in outer pockets. That's where I threw in dice bags.
I had a huge Adidas sports bag that I used.
I ran a game at the local hobby store. So I would walk in with my box of stuff and sit down at the table, and they would just wait for me to unload.
Yeah.
Okay, so does somebody want to give us a brief recap as to where we last left off, in case anybody might need it?
Yeah. So
Me.
let's see. We were working on trying to get Cindy back because she was kidnapped by the Sanguine Tears. So through Quan, he acted as our liaison to the Sanguine Tears so that we could have a meeting with the second in command, Jacob Uribe. He's a right-hand dude to Giulietta Chakotay, the leader of the Sanguine Tears. We found out that the Sanguines are tied to the Valle Picaro cartel, who have ties to Mexico. So that's why all that drug trafficking is going on. So we met them at the Los Sombreros Cantina, talked to them, trying to get Cindy back. Ben entranced Jacob and made a deal where, since we gave them the amount of drugs that we had found at Cindy's place, we now only need to give them $1 million worth and a replacement drug mule. And they'd be willing to then give Cindy back. So our plan is to take some of our gems to accomplish that, and then Lily was going to have one of her herd possibly act as the replacement mule. And at the same time, we were finding out that Shannon isn't answering her calls or anything, and doesn't seem to be at her shop, and she's kind of missing.
She is MIA.
Yep.
Not to
There
be
you go.
confused with the Chuck Norris movie.
Jerome, these are getting old when
Yep.
you talk about these things.
Yep. Good old Canon Films.
Oh,
My
boy.
You're
bones
making me
start
nervous.
Creaking.
So, it is the next night at this point. With the rise, since we haven't done this for a bit, with the rise of the evening, we need to deduct 1 blood point for rising, 1 blood point for any feeding restrictions that you might have, and that's 1 per if you have more than 1.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deduct 1 for every ghoul that you maintain.
So Ben needs to go feed.
Yeah, so does Lily.
Steven does not.
Guess what? I have 4 ghouls now. Yeah.
Wow.
No, including her owl.
Yeah, Davy Jones is all, uh-oh. Remember the last time Ben went hangry?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, let's not do that again.
Right.
So
He needs the
Lily needs
Snickers.
to
Yep.
Lily needs to go see her herd.
Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Ben's gonna do that too. He's gonna call up his herd and gonna go feed and fill up before we actually try to accomplish anything, I think.
Okay, what do you have for a herd?
2.
Okay, so for a 2, then you can get up to, I believe it's 5 points safely.
Okay, that's all I needed to.
Cool. 1, 2.
And I am back to full.
Because that gives you, I know a herd of 1 gives you 3, so I think a herd of 2 gives you something like 5 or 6. I don't have the book pulled up in front of me, but it's like
I
5
think
or
it's
6 at least.
I
Okay.
think it's 5.
Okay,
I think.
I'll do that. Let's see. Is there also any blood in the fridge at the communal haven?
There is none currently.
None. Okay. Then he would gather the 250 carats of benitoite,
Okay.
which he's found is the $1,000,000 worth needed for the exchange, and then suggest to Lily through text that they meet at Anzio's for a top off and figuring out what to do for the exchange for Cindy.
Okay, so she'll take an Uber.
Okie doke.
Yeah, and Ben will drive to Anzio's.
And what about Revis during this time frame?
I love it when he laughs.
Are you asking what I'm doing, Jerome?
Yes.
I wasn't sure who that was addressed to.
Well, Revis. So, unless you want somebody else playing your character,
It's Amore.
There we go.
yeah. Amore is playing Revis, who is playing Stephen.
Yes, makes perfect sense.
I'm just going to call a few people around and see if there's anything going on. I've got 2 contacts. I'm just going to touch base with them, see how they're doing, and see if anything of interest has been popping besides all the normal things that happen.
Right. Okay. So let me get back to you on that just a second.
Yeah, if there's nothing special, it's fine, Jerome.
Yeah. No,
I've
I've also got to pull up your character sheet.
I actually updated it and turned it in. Yep.
There we are.
And we don't have them listed, if that's what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah, we didn't actually detail those out just yet, which is fine. Okay. So yeah, I'll get back to you on that then, since you're placing some calls. So the 2 of you meet up at Anzio's, and for those of you who might need pictures, Anzio's can be found on our handy dandy website, which has all kinds of wiki information on it. Posted the link again there in the chat. So, you're not going there for converse or anything? You're just meeting up, and is that where you're planning on meeting your herd?
So,
to top off?
Yeah, he'll meet with the herd there to first top off, because even after that, he would still need a little bit more to fill up completely. So he'll top off with them first.
Okay.
And then after that, can go with Lily up to the upstairs private room for some allergen-free stuff, and then discuss how to approach the exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, Lily would most likely.
You're probably taking the herd upstairs then as they come in.
Okay.
Because you obviously wouldn't want to do that in front of the normies downstairs.
Sure. Okay.
Lily would most likely meet them at her club, since 2 of her ghouls are there. So she'll get tapped off. She's got to bring one with her. So she'll leave that one downstairs while she meets Ben upstairs.
Okay, so you're taking one of your herd and turning them into a drug mule, or are they aware of what's happening? Okay, so just let you know, herd are not ghouls.
Right. They just wanted a replacement.
Right. So
I wouldn't give him one of my ghouls.
I'm just letting you know, because ghouls do not have free will. Herd does.
Right.
And this particular member, we'll say her name is Amy, absolutely does not want to become a drug mule.
You make it so complicated. Okay, let me roll. Dominate 2. I forgot. What does Dominate 2 give me?
Studies run a class on this.
I bet they do.
I got to bring up my book.
Yeah, Dominate, you're talking about what, entrancement?
Yeah, I think that's what I want.
Dominate
She's
2 is mesmerize.
Or
she's
mesmerize.
going.
Thank you.
She's going to convince her. She wants to be. She wants to make this good money.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll your manipulation and leadership?
Okay.
We will say it's a difficulty of 6.
Okay. Oh God, 2 dice. And that's a 1.
Okay, so assuming that you actually had this discussion before you ever got to Anzio's, you, of course, are pretty matter of fact, based on how you've explained the situation to me, that yes, you're going to become a drug mule and come along, basically, is what it is. She flips you the bird and runs.
Wonderful.
We only charge a small fee for the class.
I'm thinking, do I run after her?
This is happening in the downstairs.
No, this is
Anzio's?
actually
No,
this
at
is
the
before she ever
club.
got to Anzio. So
Okay,
this is at
got
her club.
Lily's gonna try to beat her to the door.
Okay, what's your athletics?
My athletics is 2 and my celerity is 2.
Okay, well, celerity is if you're going to use it for ground speed, you're going to have to burn a blood point for that.
That's fine.
Okay. 1 second. Oh, I didn't get my dice out. All right. Okay. So catching up to her with your celerity is not going to be a problem. Okay, so she gets to the front door, and at this point, you catch up to her. She is screaming her head off.
Okay, I'm gonna try to dominate her again.
Okay. So, what are you saying to dominate her?
Okay. I am going to say why am I not getting there? There we go. Sorry, I'm getting to my page.
Nope, that is fine.
I'm going to use command for right now and just say silence.
Okay, so you're attempting to use command for silence.
so-
Go ahead
so
and roll your
manipulation.
manipulation and intimidation.
Okay. Much better. One, 2, 3.
Okay. So she shoots you like a very bizarre look, and she's like, "Screw you, lady!" And like you're drawing attention at this point, and she is trying to bolt back out the door again.
You know, I think Lily's going to push her up against the door,
So
lean into her.
So you're going to basically turn this into a combat situation.
Kinda, yeah, because Lily's gonna try to latch on and take enough blood to weaken her.
Okay. Sure. I mean, you could definitely take. At this point, you would have initiative since you have celerity, and you're going up against somebody with non-celerity. I'm just going to go ahead and give that kind of like a LARP rule in that sense. So you can act first, and you are attempting to brawl her, basically, put her up against the wall next to the door. Go ahead and roll your. Go ahead and so we're gonna have a couple of rolls here from you real quick. Because you're going into combat, we need your Dex and Brawl. So obviously
Okay,
difficulty 6.
so Dex is 4, Brawl is 2,
Add your celerity.
and 2 for celerity. Oh, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, she actually had some pretty high roll here for her dice pool, but yeah, I mean you just have more available dice. So you struggle with her a bit and slam her up against the wall, and you are biting her. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you will not be able to take that back. One, I need you to roll for frenzy at this point.
Okay.
So you need to roll for self-control. Difficulty 6. Because it's clear you're ticked and situation's getting out of hand.
Right. So, what do I have to roll to succeed? To just need 1 success?
Yeah.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So
Good grief.
the beast in you at this point, while you're able to fight it back, would rather just rip her head off. But something inside you says that would be a bad thing. And then when you tell yourself that would be a bad thing, it dawns on you that you're in your club doing this and trying to bite her, which you're biting her right now. There are other people in the club. You are doing this at the front door. And you just demanded in public that she become a drug mule.
Well, she didn't say it at that. She wouldn't have said it out loud like that. She would have been just talking to her.
It was still in public, so there is a chance that given the scene that you are making, somebody has picked up on this. Go ahead and bite. So it's since you're biting, it's strength +1 plus any potence you might have.
Well, it's now a goth club.
Yeah, I know. She's like,
boy.
we're changing decor.
I got 3.
3 on your. So okay. So to specify,
You said strength plus 1.
No. You're just feeding, correct?
Right.
Okay.
I'm just taking enough to weaken her, so she doesn't have much of a fight.
Sure. That's fine. Okay.
I don't want anyone to say anything about the Sedite after this.
Yeah, I know, no kidding.
Because he's going to look at all the rest of them and go like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Unfortunately, there's no one here to help her. This is her club.
Right.
Yep. Me and Ben are sitting here biting our tongues.
Yep. And you guys are elsewhere. So you overpower her. I mean, again, it's a matter of you just have probably a more dice to roll in general, and she's just a regular human. So pressed up against the wall, you bite down, and she is overcome by the bliss of a vampire bite, and is no longer obviously screaming her head off. However, even the bouncers at the front and the people who were walking in at this point have the look of alarm on their face.
Lily's going to finish. She's going to lick the wound, and then she's going to grab the girl by the face, and she's going to kiss her deeply.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So you do that. The people are still kind of alarmed, and there's some people by the bar where this first started happening that are looking kind of like beleaguered. And you took how many points?
Like I said, enough to weaken her. So,
I need you to define that.
how many blood points are in a human? 5?
There's a total of 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
Yeah, big animals you've got about 15, like a cow. Rats you have a
Right.
half. And
She
technically
would
one.
take. God, how much do I take to weaken her?
Said I'd class 101.
Are they free?
I can make an arrangement with you.
Right.
You're not a goody two shoes, so we can cut you a special deal.
I'm going to take half.
Half, so 5?
6.
6. Okay. So she collapses onto the ground. And there's a pause as people like come, like walk past, and the bouncer runs up real quick, and he's, trying to, he runs over and tries to, take her pulse, and immediately pulls out his phone and dials 911.
God dang. Okay. She's going to dominate the freaking bouncer. She's going to use command and tell him to stop.
Oh. Okay, go ahead. Roll manipulation and intimidation.
Come on, Dice. Be nice to me.
Oh my.
Gosh darn it, Ben. Where are you when I need you?
You
Laughing.
haven't called him yet.
4. Please be enough.
Okay, so 4.
Please.
And so at that point, like he stops. He hangs up and he looks at you and he says, because you tell him, stop. And he's like, but why? She's dying.
She's not dying. She just passed out.
He kind of like looks down and he looks and he says, oh, okay.
She just did one too many hits. I'm going to take her
Hits of
home.
What?
Just alcohol. I'm going to take her home, watch over her, and make sure that she doesn't need to go to the hospital.
Okay, sure thing, boss.
Okay. Free rounds for everybody on the house.
Okay, so he like, leaves where he's at and flags down the bartender to, dole out free rounds.
And Lily's going to help the girl up. And she's going to...
limp as a noodle. She is...
Right. So Lily's going to...
You're going to have to pick
put her arm around her, kind of drag her out.
No, they're dragging her out like that. It implies that there's some sort of strength in the body. The body is completely limp at this point.
Okay, fine. She'll have one of her other bouncers pick her up and take her out to the waiting Uber.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. So, I mean, he was still there at the front then, so he just like picks her up in both his arms and
she's going to tell him, I haven't given you a raise in a while, so 10%.
Oh, well, thanks, boss. I'm just doing my job, but
I know, but you're
I'm
awesome
not going to say
no. No, you're awesome at it, and you're always there when I need you, and you earned it.
Okay, great. And so he just, says to the girl, and he's like, I hope you're okay. And he kind of tries to set her up, and she just like slumps over.
I'll get her home. You know how these drunk ones get.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'll see you around.
Okay, and so the Uber driver, the Uber driver at this point is pulling away. Originally, he was going to take you to Anzio's. So are you?
Mm-hmm, she still is.
Oh, she's going to Anzio's then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's going to call Ben and say, "Hey, Ben, I got Sally here, which is really not her real name.
That's fine.
I need you to come down and help me get her up and into your vehicle so we can take her home?
Oh, okay. Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, she just passed out is all. But I don't want to bother the Uber driver. So will you meet us out back of Anzio's?
Yeah, sure. You're on your way?
Yep, right now.
All right.
Thanks,
I'll
babe.
be there. Sure.
Okay. So she'll have him take her to Anzio's and pull around the back.
And
Okay.
Ben will meet her back there, of course.
Sure. And so, this girl is in the back, completely limp noodle, and the driver's like, is she okay? Should we take her to a hospital?
No, like I said, she's just drunk. She passed out. She does this all the time.
With that, Ben looks at the girl and uses aura perception to see what's going on.
Okay.
Dang it. No successes.
Oh, okay.
So Lily is going
You're kind
to
of getting like one of the things about Auspex is because it does work kind of like a Carillion camera. It can pick up like other auras, like ambient in the environment, and maybe that's what's happening right now. Like the vehicle is one of those like hybrids, and so you're picking up the electricity aura, and then aura of the driver and Lily and whatnot. It's all one big jumble right now. You're just not picking up anything.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So-
all right.
Lily will she will pay the driver, but she'll give him a good tip.
Define good tip.
$30
On the app, just like
Yep.
self type. Okay, sure. Do you
Yeah.
do you 5-star him?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so he just pulls away and drives off.
Okay. Lily's going to take a deep breath, even though she doesn't need it. You would not believe the night I'm having.
It's like
Jerome?
Ben's
Where am
holding
I at
the
this
girl
point?
right now.
You're at your haven right now.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Sure, yeah.
She's going to be their drug mule, and I had to kind of weaken her in order to convince her.
Oh, how weakened? Like
I
drink
took
weakened?
I took some blood out of her.
Okay, so Ben's gonna like set her down a little bit so that he can like test to see if she's like breathing or anything or
Sure.
has a pulse or anything.
Why don't you give me intelligence and medicine?
Just like nothing. Oh boy. Oh. 2 dice. Here we go. Yeah, he's not skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There you go.
Uh,
Yeah, Finn can actually talk.
yeah, they are like the exact opposites. No successes there.
Okay, so
my.
you're not certain at this point, and you're not even sure like what's the first route to take to verify if she's breathing, because you're used to just being you at this point. So it's like,
Right.
you know it's possible for shallow breathing, but you have no idea if that's really occurring. You're just like you basically look at it and you're like, it's powered by some sort of electricity. Like you're just kind of you're dumbfounded at this point. You're not
Okay.
stupid. It's just in the moment you're a little alarmed and you're just not picking up on any of the signs. Plus you're unskilled. So
Right. So then Ben's like, oh, right, okay. I mean,
she'll be
she's not
fine
moving
with.
or anything.
She's fine. She's alive. She just needs to rest.
Oh,
But-
okay. Do you know where she lives or where you want to prop her up? Might look weird if we bring her into the restaurant, you know?
Well, I was kind of hoping that we.
I mean, if you're sitting in a restaurant and somebody brought
Yeah, but
in
we can
somebody
go
who's
through the back.
limp-
Isn't there a back entrance for like when Henri
Yeah.
does his thing?
Yeah,
Take
Yeah, I
her.
guess we
yeah,
can
there's
do that.
definitely
Up the back.
you're gonna go through the Davey's like, I'm dying. Oh my god. Yeah. So basically, you're going through the service entrance.
Okay.
Like back where they take out the trash and employees come in and whatnot.
Would there be a way going through there to like, because we're going through the service entrance,
Mhm.
then when we go up to our room or whatever, would we still have to go through the main area to do that? Okay.
Yep.
So then Ben's like, I mean,
And you would know that at this point.
right,
So it's
okay.
not like you wouldn't stumble into it.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, Ben's like, so yeah, we can go through the back. I mean, that takes care of that. But if we're going upstairs, we're going
Do you
through the
want
main
me?
room.
I can do awe and just.
I
No,
mean,
I don't have presents. What am I talking about? I don't want to put her in the car and have her wake up and then get away. So it's
well, okay, get away. I mean, first off, she's her, right?
she's the one
That's
that
what
I'm
you're,
sacrificing. Yes.
babe. Sacrificing.
You want your daughter or not?
I do,
Ooh.
but man, I'm not
Okay.
trading life
They
for
want
life.
they want a
Give
replacement.
me a humanity check. Roll your self-conscious.
Boy, that one was a train coming down the track. Oh my!
One success.
What's okay? She puts it in a phrase that you put a little obviously more value on it. Your daughter's on the line.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, this stinks. This does not this is not what an officer of the law would do, basically. And you were
Right.
one. Even
Yeah.
though you're a private eye now. So you're just like, that one, that
Right.
kind of stings.
Yeah. So Ben's like,
I know
come
it
on,
sucks.
babe.
I know it sucks, Ben, but I want Cindy back as much as you do. I know you want her back more, but this is the only thing I can come up with on short notice.
Well, okay. I mean,
I'm
the way
sorry.
she is now, not gonna be a great mule. I mean, I'm
Well,
hoping
no,
she
they're
wakes up.
going to take her, let her rest, and they'll put her to work. She's going to make great money.
Will she do it? I mean, did you convince her?
Define convince.
Okay, that's a no. Especially because if she's like this, why did you get her to be like this?
Because she made a scene and I didn't need her going to the police.
Made a scene? Why was she making a scene?
Because she told me she flipped me the bird.
So you tried to say you're gonna be a mule. She said no, flipped you the bird, and then you did this to her.
Well, it was, I didn't have a lot of time to think and plan.
Okay, before nearly draining people, please call me in the future. I mean, I might be holding a corpse right now, and that's not great here.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what? We can put her somewhere and anonymously dial 911 and just get her to a hospital, just to make sure. And we don't have to be around. They'll just pick her up. I'd like you to make that call since this is what you did. And I'll post her up somewhere.
Then what are we going to do for a mule?
So, I could possibly ask Jim. He is jobless right now, and he'd be more capable than somebody who isn't a ghoul if something goes sideways. And it'd give us more of an in on what's going on. Because he'll talk to me, obviously, right?
Hey, yeah, I'm calling. I think somebody needs an ambulance. We found a girl behind Anzio's. She's kind of passed out, but her pulse is really weak.
Okay, so they're like, give us the address that you're currently at. We'll send an ambulance right away.
Okay, so she blah 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 blah.
And what address is this?
Anzio's.
Okay. They will dispatch they will dispatch have somebody dispatched. They should be there in 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And with Ben hearing her say it's Anzio's, is going to be like, okay, I'll be here. You don't be here. You go ahead and go upstairs. When they come by, I'm going to claim that I just saw her. I don't know who called. And if they're weird about it, I'll make them think otherwise. But we'll get her to hospital.
Okay. She's gonna lean up and kiss him on the cheek. I'm sorry, babe.
It's all right. Just try to be careful here, okay? That's all.
I
All right.
try.
I'll see you upstairs.
Okay, so she's going to go upstairs and she's
Okay.
going to grab herself a drink because she really needs one. And she wants this
So
one with
you just had what,
Yep.
6?
I know, but she wants something with an edge on it.
So aren't you already full?
I'm right at full, so I guess I can't have any more, huh?
I mean, you can. It's not advisable, but you can.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Okay.
She just won't have that edge.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that edge, and so you're anxious and antsy, and walk your way up to the second floor.
Cranky.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Ben, what are you doing with the girl?
So Ben's gonna go behind Anzio's, and he's gonna prop her up like she was sitting up against the wall. Make sure she's also leaning up against something so that she does not like falling over. And once he hears like the sirens of the ambulance come by, he's gonna act like he's trying to like wake her up, like he just found her or something.
Okay.
And he'll be there for the.
Given the fact that she's a limp noodle, the best you can do is prop her up against something on the ground, like she was sitting or something.
Okay.
So
Yep,
you
that'll
won't be able to lean standing. There's no tension whatsoever, unfortunately.
No, right. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Like sitting, all that stuff.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay.
That's perfect.
So you're like, you just got her set up and propped up against a dumpster or something.
Right. that'll work.
So the paramedics parked out front, but they come running inside, and eventually they come along the side, into the alley that you're in, and start checking her out and trying to give her trying to resuscitate her as best they can. And they actually call it right there. They're going to they're going to have the police come, because she's already dead at this point, so she's DOA. The moment they got there.
Yeah.
Jerome, you're terrible.
So Ben,
Yeah.
lose a humanity point.
Sorry.
Lily,
Yeah.
lose a humanity point.
Oh my God.
This is preemptive. You'll eventually find out, why. But yeah, I'm just going ahead and doing it right now.
Okay.
Takes me down to 4. Ouch.
Okay.
I'm laughing because there was another way out of this.
So, holding on that. So obviously the police are coming to investigate and whatnot. Revis, I IM'd you that information. That's all they've got right now. And the other tidbit they would have told you is that the Southside Souls are kind of like they're kind of like an occultic gang, but not really. They dig on the aesthetic. They're in the Hearst culture.
Mm-hmm.
as well as the goth and whatnot. But for the most part, in the past, they've been they do a lot of charity work. So they've got cars that they trick out in kind of horror or gothic sort of themes. They're kind of a big hit around Halloween. But other than that, that's really it.
Okay. I appreciate it, and I send $100 his way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Haven't heard anything, so I'm gonna send a text to Ben and go, "Hey, it's really quiet tonight. There's a mortal event that I might go to on the south side, unless there's something going on."
Am I getting this text in the middle of me talking to the
Yep.
EMTs and all that? Okay.
Yep. Like there's just a break at this point as they're waiting for the they're waiting for the police to show up at this point, that they're just standing around so they can give their report. So you're just kind of out back, just keeping an eye on everything.
So I'll go ahead and quickly reply. Meet Lily and I at Anzio's.
Okay. Send him an okay and head off that way. My alter ego is still laughing.
Yeah, it doesn't take terribly long. Cross town. Actually, you're not too far from downtown. It's more traffic than anything that is the problem. When you get there, there's obviously there's a police unit out front, along with an ambulance, and of course there's people that are going around back and forth, down the side alley to access the way and whatnot. So there are lots of flashing lights.
Okay. I just take a quick look, make sure there's no one that I know immediately obvious, and continue on into Anzio's, at which point when I go in and I get past the door, I do my normal thing at this point, which is stop and make sure that we don't have one of our more senior citizens down at that level enjoying a meal, like has happened a time or two.
It has. So why don't you go ahead and roll? You're doing aura perception, right?
No. I'm just using alertness.
Okay, so just give me a perception and awareness check. Since you're looking for obvious signs of supernatural activity that is not supernatural in nature, like aspects.
Mm-hmm. So 9545.
Okay. It's kind of bumping down here right now with people starting to leave, given what's been going on. So the restaurant is starting to clear out. And you're not picking up on anything super obvious. So if there is anybody down here, they're probably keeping it cool.
Okay. Like I said, then head upstairs.
Okay.
Curiosity's running rampant at this point.
So you go upstairs, and Lily's the only one in the room.
Yeah, she's
And
pacing.
and there's like a hole in the carpet starting to form where she's been pacing back and forth nervously.
Lily?
Oh, hey, Revis.
Do you know why the cops are crawling all over the backside?
There's cops out there? It's only supposed to be an ambulance.
Well, it's got lots of company at the moment. 2 or 3 squad cars. Didn't bother counting them all, and lots of officers walking back and forth.
Ah, crap. I think I might have killed somebody.
Revis goes,
And right at that moment is when Lily loses her humanity.
Right, yeah.
Oink.
Ben's going to be pissed.
Revis looks at her, then he goes, "What do you mean Ben's going to be pissed?"
Because Ben's down there with her.
Ben's... Okay. I'm going to play connect the dots.
Okay.
Ben's in the alley with a dead person?
Well, she was only supposed to be weakened, but I think I took too much blood.
Okay, Revis goes, and I have medicine actually, Jerome. How much blood did you take, Lily?
You
So
wouldn't have it like a numeric amount
right,
to it.
just
Yeah, just give me a rough guess.
You would have to
a little.
explain timing wise how long you kept the feeding.
Okay, give him whatever time
Sure.
it was.
So based on what limited information you have on Lily, I mean, she's not old, but she's not new. So there's obviously some variables there. Why don't you go ahead and give me an intelligence and medicine check? Difficulty 6.
Okay, 2, 3, 6, 10, 10.
Ooh, nice.
Good Lord. Okay, so if she's of sufficient generation, she could have taken it all. If she's based on that time frame, if she's closer to newer generation vampire, she probably took over half.
Okay, so Lily,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a guess and say you're not terribly old, right? Vampire wise?
No, I guess in our society, I guess I'm still like young adult, I guess.
I see. So, no one bothered explaining to you that when you take too much blood, you don't have to take all of it, mind you, but when you take too much, the cardiovascular system collapses.
Well, I didn't realize I took that much. I was rushed in
So you
panic.
were rushed on top of this. So you don't really know how much you actually took.
No.
Yeah, you probably caused her to have a heart attack and die.
Crap. Well,
Now
sure.
that don't sweat it. It's fine. No big deal. But
It happens.
why did you go to that extreme?
Just trying to remember if Revis
Emotional,
isn't with them.
damn it.
You weren't
No.
with us last
No.
night.
He has no clue.
Okay. Ben's daughter, Cindy. You know who she is.
Yep,
Okay. She was taken.
I know that part.
Okay. Well, we found her and we made arrangements to meet with the second in command of the Sanguine Tears. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And I made a deal with him to. I gave him the drugs that we found in Cindy's old apartment. And he said $1 million and a mule replacement. Then we could have Cindy back.
Revis
So,
goes, wait, you promised to deliver something you haven't a clue about, and you didn't call the Setite? I specialize in these areas. A mule. Oh,
I don't know about your stuff. You don't disclose it.
well, it's not for everyone's lack of trying, now is it?
I just
Setites
figured
have about as
I would
much privacy
dominate
as a
her.
bug on a wall.
I figured I would just dominate her. She would go willingly, and it didn't happen.
Okay.
And Ben's downstairs with cops and paramedics, and he's going to be pissed. She's more upset about him being pissed than the girl dying.
Yeah. All right, Jerome. I'm going to get on the phone,
Okay.
and I have 3 points in allies.
Okay.
None of them are dedicated. I'm going to make an assumption now that one of them's criminal, okay?
That's fair.
Okay. And I'm going to call this guy up and go like, I need someone who wants to get into the business of being a mule for drugs.
Okay.
And
They will figure something out.
all right, let me know when
And
you got something.
They'll
and
get back
I'll
to you in a
let me
couple
know-
hours.
Mhm.
You know,
And
if they don't get something sooner.
And I'll compensate for it. let me know what your it costs to do this, and you'll be fairly compensated.
Fair enough.
Okay, I get off the phone and go, done.
Thanks. She's going to go back to pacing.
Okay, now Jerome, I want to go downstairs because I don't remember his name. Damaris
Yeah.
Yes.
is going to be obviously down there, like burning a hole in the other carpet because the police are going all around his place.
Well,
Which
no,
is the last thing.
Damaris isn't here right now, so
Who's running it?
The manager.
So yeah, he's burning a hole in the rug downstairs.
Do I know
yeah,
anything-
he's sweating bullets at this point, like Megadeth level sweating bullets.
So
Damaris is going to kill her too.
I'm going to go down there and just work on calming him down.
Okay. Then why don't you just give me a charisma and expression or leadership.
Charisma is 4. I got 1 in expression and 2 in leadership, so I'll use leadership. It's a total of 6. Six, 8, 4, 3, 7, 8.
Okay. So you're just kind of idle chit chat, trying to keep him distracted from what's happening, and probably reassuring him that everything's in control.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
he's
all.
still nervous, but he's not, making it look like there's criminal activity nervous.
Yeah. And I tell him, do we have customers left? Is the first
No.
question.
At this point, they cleared out the house.
Okay. I tell him, you might want to put up a sign saying there's a special.
A special?
Yeah. You want to draw people back in, right?
Not right now. The police and paramedics are here. It looks like, some hardcore case of food poisoning or something.
Yeah, but you don't want the place to be empty. So if you put a drink special up, order a meal and get a free drink.
Sure. I guess I can. I don't know how effective it's going to be yet. We have to.
I understand. I'm just thinking
We have
that,
to wait for the
you want,
police to go. But okay, sure. I can do that. I can throw out the chalkboard out front and write up something quick.
and yeah, no, they don't have the attractive waitresses here, so we can't have a waitress go outside and But okay. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go take the front table
Okay.
in the restaurant, the one that's by the window,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to tell them, and I can eat and order food, so I'm going to order a meal and a drink, and I'm going to sit there having food and drinking.
Okay. Do you have a preference, or would you just like us to bring you something?
Um, a dry martini and probably it's Anzio's spaghetti, of course, with meatballs.
Sure. We'll have something right up. Thank you. And so
Mhm, no problem.
he goes off to order the back to get that done. Ben.
Yeah.
So police officers come out, they start taking notes about what happened, and basically just taking statements from anybody who was involved at this point.
And yeah, Ben would just be like, he found her out here as he was going outside. He thought he heard something. Maybe she had collapsed or something. He tried to wake her up, and then like a minute later, he heard the paramedics come by, and so waved them over when he saw them. That's generally his story. Very like non-involved.
Okay, sure, no problem. So they take your statement. At that point, somebody comes along from the coroner's office to take the body away, and about an hour later, the scene is cleared up as best as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So once people pull away, he's like, Okay, and so he heads through the back entrance and then makes his way, kind of clomping, foot after foot up the stairs
Yeah,
to the main room.
at this point, the restaurant has been cleaned out,
Okay, yeah.
with the exception of Revis at this point, who's enjoying a fine drink and a meal at the very front.
So like as he passes by, like he just kind of turns, looks at Revis, like gives him one of those, then turns back and then continues up the stairs.
Okay. So,
So
Ben, you
Lily's
get
pacing.
upstairs. There's a sufficient, hole worn in the carpet from where she's been going back and forth, nervously
Yeah.
pacing.
So he goes in, doesn't say anything, passes her, goes behind the bar, pours himself a. I'm assuming they have at least some allergen free
Yeah.
on tap. Okay.
Yeah, by
He'll
this
pour-
point, somebody would have brought something up.
Okay. He'll get himself one drink, and he starts drinking that, and he's still behind the bar. He's got his drink. He downs it.
Yeah, Lily's watching him intently, trying to gauge.
Well, you have one less person in your herd.
I heard. No pun intended.
Also, on an out of character note, you are unable to use your herd at this point until you until you spend 3 XP to basically repair the herd.
Okay. Oh, speaking of XP, we got to roll.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
Need to
want to somebody want to roll?
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have one out.
So roll 1d4 plus 1.
That's right. 4. Haha. Gives us a total of 5.
Awesome.
Nice.
You need to put that in the
Chat.
chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Ben. I didn't mean for her to die.
I mean, that's all well and good, but how? It's not like you're new at feeding, right?
Well, I've never.
Like you've done this, what? Let's see, been alive several decades, so let's see, what, thousands of times, maybe?
Yeah, but
Lover's Matt, I
I
tell you.
never took that much before.
Yeah. It's weird. I guess it's not that terrible, but just don't, just be careful. Okay, we don't need to wipe people out. I know everyone in town, they're saying turn everyone into a ghoul and then control everybody. And I'm already weird about being fine and in league with sanguine tears, but I mean, if we step on their toes, we step on the toes of people in Medford and the Giovanni, and we were needing their help. And all right,
It was the only thing I could think of. It's not like I know a bunch of druggies.
Right, but that doesn't mean you kill someone to try to turn them into one. All right, it's happened. It's happened.
So are you still mad at me?
Tell you what, try to make it up to me. I don't know how, but you try.
Well, Revis is here.
Yeah, I've noticed
And he made a call for a drug mule.
Oh, like he knows a person already?
Yeah, I guess for now on we go to the Sedite for criminal activity because obviously he's got the contacts.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I don't know much about that clan, but it's pretty
I don't
obvious
either.
they dabble in that stuff.
All I know about Sedites is they love to corrupt and they like debauchery. That's all I know.
I'm so glad I'm not there. I'm so glad I'm not there. Exactly why the said I went to the lengths he did for the conversation with Trish.
All right.
So
Well,
now we have to wait and hear back. So hopefully it doesn't take too long because we're supposed to meet these guys at a certain time.
yeah, exactly.
Did you get the jewels?
Yeah, I've got that. It's 250 carats. This one should be about 1 million, according to my calculator on my phone.
Oh,
right.
and Lily did grab some clothes for Cindy. They're not going to be what Cindy normally wears. They're kind of gothy, but it would be like a black t-shirt, black jeans. I brought her some clothes because I figure she's probably going to want to change.
Good. Yeah. Good call. All right. Well,
And we might want like a first aid kit, so maybe they have one downstairs.
yeah. Let me see what we got, and we'll you loop in Revis here. See what he's got with his person he contacted.
Okay, so another half hour or so has passed. Revis, you finished your meal, and a couple of other people have come back into the restaurant now that the scene has gone away.
Cool.
I'll do my thing and get up for my meal and walk, and basically I'm not using anything like entrancement unless I think that, they're unhappy or something, and make sure they're happy with their meals and help the manager out. And then I'm going to, tell the manager I'm going to go upstairs now that people have started coming back in. And if there's any other issues, I give them my phone number. Tell them, just give me a call. I'll be happy to come back and help you the rest of the night if I have to.
Okay,
So-
sure thing. Thanks, Mr. Revis.
And I head my way upstairs.
Ben,
Yeah.
I know that you hate this subject, but I'm going to bring it up again. With my FUBAR having Detective Rubis under your thumb.
We're not even gonna. You have no place talking about controlling people.
Well,
Really?
having him is going to help when stuff like this happens.
Or don't drain people dry.
Then okay, then why?
Step one, take little
Okay.
drinks.
I won't drain people dry, but
Okay.
what are we going to do when the next issue comes up that we need police involvement?
Whenever I contact the detective, he's amiable. I got a relationship with them. You don't have to control people's minds to.
What are we going to do about the Uber driver?
Do they care? What I mean,
I'm sure this is going to be on the news.
maybe. Not necessarily.
We were
The news
supposed to
doesn't
take
catch
her
everything.
home.
At this point, have I entered, Jerome?
Yeah.
I just kind of look at him and go, Ben, this was part of the conversation I wanted to have with you earlier.
Right. Well, I guess we might as well have it right now if you want. The clock's ticking, though.
Yeah, I understand it. But basically, my elders were concerned about the lack of control that was being exerted on mortal influences, to the point of, they speculated that Giovanni actually controlled about 25% of the police force, roughly speaking, according to what they could determine. That were large areas of mortal influence like media and health and a few other key places that probably needed more non-mortal control than was being exerted.
Okay.
And they're willing to actually be public in Ashland if the suitable gestures are made.
Shouldn't that be something you should talk to the Baron about?
Well, that's where this is going, but I have to bring it up in the right way. This is the camera, not the camera relay, whatever the situation is here. if I bypass Ben and he's clueless, then he's going to feel like he was ignored because he's the intermediary between him and her. So I start with Ben, express what I've been asked to convey in a properly respectful manner, although maybe a little more appropriately timed considering all things. But you would gain basically the equivalent of another Giovanni clan if the Baron was amenable.
You're suggesting trying to have ties with your clan.
Not ties, the same type of arrangement that allowed you to coexist with Giovanni. Above board, same type of arrangement.
Huh.
Yeah, we're already indebted to the Giovanni.
No, there's no debt. It's not a matter of debt. It's the arrangements we had with the Giovanni were very straight up prior to the wedding and all the rest of that, from what I'm given to understand. I may be mistaken in that, but that was my understanding.
So then what would be the deal between the Anarchs of Ashland and the Sedites?
That would be up to the Baron to discuss with my elders. I'm just asking if that's something she's willing to consider. That's my role here.
Yeah.
Come here and see if it's something that she's interested in. She's willing to, say, yep, it's okay for Sedites to come to the city. The Sedites aren't saying, we're going to sacrifice everyone at dawn, all the rest of it. That's old hat. And the new members, in quotes, the new philosophy. I have to remember to get that dogma down right at this point. The new dogma is such that cooperation is the key word, not domination. Now, I've already handled the issue of finding a mule.
Right.
Do we have one?
Sometime I should know in another hour and a half or so. The gentleman told me he'd have something for me in about 2 hours.
All right.
Well, that's going to be cutting it close.
Well, still, it is what it is. But okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. We do need more allies and more friends.
And we need more control of the police department since Ben
it's not a
doesn't
matter
want...
of. I kind of got to agree on Ben on this. The police department generally works on systems not involving control so much as an exchange of favors.
Yeah.
If I ask a guy to supply me with a file, which I'm not supposed to see, then he's expecting to get something in return based on the value of the file.
I don't see Detective Rubith like that.
But there are plenty of them that are, dear, is my point. Many of them work on money because they're underpaid, especially nowadays. So say they've got a child who needs a scholarship to a college. Mystically, that scholarship shows up prepaid. And say that gentleman is then cooperative for the next 4 years while his child goes to college.
Yeah, makes sense. I get what you're saying. Favor for favor, sure. Makes it so that you can't really track that stuff too, because money's strange and who knows who's resistant to powers or whatever.
I'm just more concerned about the Uber driver right now.
Well,
Did you tip him?
I did. I gave him $30 and a 5-star rating.
Well, why don't you send me that information and I'll see if something can't be arranged later on this evening.
Okay, she's going to give her confirmation number and the name of the driver. Anything pertinent that she has on her
Which is just
driver.
like, it's just like the first name and the information from your last trip. I mean, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but you
Okay.
can request him for a driver with that information.
All right. Well, yeah, I think she'd be at least willing to talk because, again, we do need more friends. I mean, we're in a decent spot now once we get Cindy back. But, yeah, better safe than sorry. Who knows
Like I
when the
said,
next enemy will come up.
I appreciate you taking it to her. This was a big hunk of why I'm here. And obviously, this conversation, like the other one I had with Trish, they're on different spectrums. Deliberately didn't tell her about the political aspect of it.
Sure. All right.
And
Maybe
I kind of
you'll
look at Lily, and I'd appreciate it if this was just between us and possibly the Baron at this point.
That's fine. But I am kind of thinking of something. We're going to be meeting with the second of command of the Sanguine Tears. That might be a good contact for you, Revis, since you kind of like that kind of stuff.
I'm going to check back later on. Normally, something that size has someone's finger in it somewhere.
Well, we already know that the Giovanni have at least a working relationship with them.
Yeah, that would be my guess. But this goes to Mexico, is what you said the link was?
Apparently, yeah, they got a Mexican cartel that's working with them too. That's where they're getting their drugs, apparently.
I'm not sure who's operating out of Mexico anymore. I've been asleep too long.
Well, we can find out.
Yep. Alrighty. So we're making the swap, and what arrangements were made to confirm that Lily was going to be alive prior to the exchange?
What do you mean,
Or not
Cindy?
Lily, Cindy. Yes.
I kind of, in a way, kind of nonchalantly threatened.
Well,
Kind of.
I did, not like I told you guys, but I did entrance the second in command, and right after that, he was willing to make this deal. So
Oh,
it'd be
you didn't
strange
tell me
if
that.
he was.
No,
against her.
you're missing the point of my question, which is, did they say alive or dead?
No, we said alive.
Oh, yeah.
And I made it very clear that she was not to be harmed or touched in any ways.
Okay, well, how many days has she been gone?
Now 2.
Flames did, or actually, the Baron. The Baron did actually use her power to visit her and talk to her, apparently. So
she's
she
a
was
little
alive.
banged up. She is a little banged up, but
Okay.
I made it clear
I was going to say
that-
if she was pristine, I'd be worried, but she's already been banged up, so I'm guessing, okay. That seems about right.
And if she comes to us harmed in any way, I will eat them all.
I mean, she's been harmed, so don't go drinking more people.
Reeves just
It just depends on how harmed she comes back to us.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Okay, so we have an exchange. She's supposed to be unharmed. How are you pulling back from that exchange safely?
What do you mean?
Do you have a fast car?
We have Benz.
Okay, that's right. You have that lovely vehicle.
Well, I gave that to Trish, so we're going to use my company car. It's a sedan.
You gave it to Trish for good?
Yeah, I don't need it. Plus,
really
she's the one who really helped out. You know, get with the deal, getting the 50 mil in stones and all that. Why not?
Reeves just kind of goes, okay, but she.
Yeah, that's kind of Lily too.
You may have accidentally doubled the size of her. Yeah, never mind. I can't say that here. Just never mind.
Well, anyway, when we get word from your guy about the mule, then we should be ready to take off at least.
Okay.
I kind of wonder if we should head out and when the guy calls, tell him where to meet us.
No, I will need to pick the man up.
Oh.
And
okay.
The city's not that big unless we're traveling outside of the city.
We're going to Medford.
We're going to Medford. So I would just wait. We can pick him up on the way. And because the man or woman that we get knows what they're going to be doing and has already agreed to advance in it. I will be paying my my friend for making this acquisition, and there'll be some exchange after the fact on that level, which I will expect to get compensated for, Lily. But it will be the cost. It will not be more than the cost. And other than that,
So what? Okay, so define compensation. What kind of compensation
It's
are
going to
you?
cost me money, and I just expect money back. I'm not asking for anything more than what it cost me to do this.
She looks at Ben, kind of shrugs.
Ben has a robotic blank look right now.
I
Ben's been hit with a lot this evening.
Yeah.
um, yeah, we'll figure out something.
Okay, no problem. Like I said, I'll make the arrangements and it'll be covered, and we'll deal with it after the fact.
I think Ben and I are going to need a good vacation after this.
Trish likes to go camping.
Me camping?
Well, yeah, it limits your interaction with the rest of the world. It's good for you, actually. Send me stuff
Do
periodically.
you know? I've never done that.
Really?
No,
You don't change like into a wolf or something and go running around the countryside and
no, I don't change into a wolf. No.
There's a
Okay.
knock at the door,
I go to the door.
and the manager kind of leans in, and he says,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's somebody here for you, Mr. Rivas."
Okay. I go downstairs.
Okay. There's and he points out the individual. He's just kind of standing there and waiting. He's kind of tall, probably 6'4", 6'5", but lean, not like
Mhm.
muscular or anything. He's got on business casual, so a nice dress shirt and tie, but not like sport coat or like the whole works. Um, his sleeves are partially rolled up at this point. For a visual, and I'm digging deep for this one. He looks like the actor Michael Gross from Family Ties and Tremors.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
How funny. Okay.
Okay.
So he's got kind of a beard, but it's like always like light stubble looking, not like a full thick beard. And the manager, walks you up to him,
Mm.
and he turns and he says, you're Mr. Rivas?
Yes, I am.
I believe we have a mutual connection. My name is William Knowles.
Mm-hmm.
I was told to meet you here.
Ah, you do courier work then?
I do, yes. Well, I mean, I can. By
Yes.
trade, I'm a venture capitalist.
Ah, okay. And come on upstairs, and I take up to the other room.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
And I sit down and go, so, which mutual contact are we referring to at this point?
Your ally.
Okay. I go, okay, excellent. As part of an arrangement we're making with, I'm going to slaughter the name of this Mexican gang,
Sanguine tears.
Sanguine Tears. We're replacing a casualty we accidentally inflicted on them. And they asked us to supply them with someone who's willing to act as a drug mule. And,
Oh.
and I went to our source and said, I'm interested in having someone to do this. And it's part of an arrangement. And if you're willing to go, I'm not going to, if you have qualms or anything, please let me know. I don't force people to do anything. And if you're perfectly acceptable, then that's what we're going to take place. And I will compensate you in addition to what you get from them.
No, that's why I'm here. I'm happy to assist.
Okay, excellent. Please stay here. I'll go let my companions know that we're set, and then we'll go for a drive.
Of course.
Okay. I go into the next room. I said, he's here. He's amenable to what the job is. We're pretty much all set.
Okay, let's
All right.
go get our girl then.
Let's do this.
All right. I go to the next room, and then I introduce him. I said, William, these are my friends. This is Ben. This is Lily. We're going to go to the rendezvous. We'll make the exchange, and we'll all be happy people then. And I transfer, I'll transfer $300 to whatever his Cash App account it would happen to be or whatever.
Okay, sure.
And then we go about and make our rendezvous.
All right.
And then I lean over and I go, Lily, This is the way it's supposed to work.
She doesn't say anything.
Okay. So, you guys get into there's enough of you, probably 2 vehicles,
Sure.
Yeah, she'll be
And-
with Ben.
and head back out to Medford for the arranged exchange.
Right.
You're back at the restaurant at this point.
Okay.
Actually, scratch that. Not at the restaurant. They wouldn't bring that kind of attention there. They have met you. The arrangement is actually at a back alley behind what appears to be like some closed sporting goods store. Like it's no longer in operation. It probably closed down at some
Okay,
point.
what do we? Is this going to be? This is nighttime, correct?
Mhm.
Dawn or
Well,
dusk?
it would have to be. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you guys are
I
burning.
just want to be sure. Just want to be sure. So when we get to the alley, I'm going to tell Ben to hit the high beams.
Go ahead and do it.
Light the alley up.
Okay.
Sure.
What do we see when we light the alley up? What are we looking at?
There's 2 other cars here parked and waiting. A couple individuals standing outside. Clearly thug types.
Okay. So I'm going to get out. You guys stay in. I'll walk down the alley, turn the brights off, follow behind me till we get within about 20 feet.
That'll work.
Okay. So they start approaching at this point. And they said, Mr. Benjamin.
Evening, fellas.
I trust that you have what it is that we per the deal arrangement or per the arrangement.
As long as you have the woman of the hour with you.
So the guy who's doing negotiating, it's not the guy you met before, but he's just, a beefier looking kind of guy, turns and, he looks and the door opens and you see Cindy there.
Okay.
Lily's.
Okay. I look at the guy and go, we're going to do the everyone meets at the middle and the goods exchanged all at the same time? Or do you want to look at the merchandise before?
We need to examine the merchandise first.
Okay. All right. Ben, would you give me the case and I'll set it down on the hood while they examine it?
Ben hands the stuff over to Rivas.
Rivas takes the case, puts it on the hood, opens it up, steps back.
So true to form, like they had advised when you said you were going to be bringing precious stones, they've got another guy there, clearly non-combative type guy. They probably pulled some jeweler or something into this somehow that probably owed them favors. He breaks out, some spectacles, and he's got a little bit of equipment on him, not only to help light it up, but it's not a telescope, but you know what I mean.
The little monocle loop thing that they put on their eye.
Well, that, and then there's also like a microscope and whatnot, so he can get,
Carrot counts.
Yeah. So he can examine it, and it's set up enough so that it's going to be level on the vehicle, so it's not like if something bumps it accidentally, it slides off into the darkness on the ground and nobody can find it. Sort of weirdness.
Right.
So he breaks it out and he starts looking at it and pulling out his tools and measuring, and he's got himself one of those nice little claws to wipe it down and handle. Same type of thing you would use for wiping your eyeglasses clean and whatnot. So he turns and he looks to the guy and he just gives him a thumbs up. And he says, so there's just one other piece of this then.
I said, William, would you step out, please?
So he steps out and, adjusts his tie.
And I said, come forward. I said, this is William. He's agreed to perform the service that you asked about. And this is the last piece of the puzzle, as far as I'm aware of.
So he turns and looks to somebody, in a vehicle, and you can see a faint light inside the inside the cab of the car, as the illumination of a cell phone briefly lights up to somebody's face, and they start making a call. And he says the guy is kind of briefly interviewing him, like finding out like his
Normal
background,
stuff.
his full name, that sort of thing. And somebody comes walking up and whispers something into the other thug's ear at this point, and he turns and he looks and he says, he looks at William and he says, "You worked with the Dixie Mafia?" And he says, "Oh, for a bit, yeah. I helped him. I helped him with some. I helped him with some legit business plans that they had that was going to help benefit some of their undocumented cash flow problems."
I don't laugh.
And so they go. So they kind of look. They look back and forth, and they say, "Okay, it would seem that your credibility checks out." So they motion for him to come over and sit in the car. Of course, they've already got the jewels laid out on the car, and they're bagging them up safely at this point. That guy who examined them is the one that's clearly taking.
And I said, please have Cindy step out of the car.
She's already
Cindy.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Okay.
Yeah, she's already stepped out of the car, and they don't know her as Cindy.
Lindy.
Oh, that's right.
Lily is going to take her jacket off, her trench coat off.
Mm-hmm.
And as Cindy approaches him, Lily's going to approach her and put it around her and ask her if she's okay.
Okay, she's not fussy or doing anything. It's clear she just wants to get the heck out of Dodge at this point. But she just takes the coat and like slings it around her shoulder, and she just nods. It looks like she's probably been through a fight or two. You know, she's a little bruised up, but that was confirmed at that point when Sophie did her scan of the area and found her.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like anything has changed beyond that.
Okay.
And I thank the gentleman for the care they've displayed on delivering the package as described.
So they just nod at this point, and they wait for you guys to back out and drive away.
Okay. They've bagged everything and stepped away from the vehicle.
All right.
And we have Cindy. All right. Get everyone back in.
Yep.
Ben, back the car up. I'm not going to get into the car till you have exited the alley and turned.
Got it. Yeah.
I just
Ben goes ahead and backs up.
And
Okay.
I just walk back all the while facing them. I'm like, yeah, this is going way too smooth.
And as you back up and pull away, they all pull out the other side of the alleyway, which there's two alleyways that come into the back of this old sporting goods store, and they take the other avenue and hastily pull out and drive away.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Lily's going to hand over the bag that has the extra clothes to her. Figured you might want to change into something cleaner.
She just not. She's not saying much of anything right now.
And Ben goes ahead and starts heading back home.
Lily, I would like to do aura perception on her.
Okay.
It's perception, right? And empathy.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. She's relieved at this point, but still very traumatized by everything that's happening, so she's just kind of reserved.
Okay. She's sitting in between Ben and I?
If that's how you position it, then yes.
Okay. Well, probably. Lily would have her sitting next to her dad for that comfort.
Okay, we get back safely, Jerome.
Yeah, you get back to Ashland at this point with her in tow.
Okay. So Ben's gonna be like, "Hey, princess, uh, we're gonna get you home, get you cleaned up. How are you? How are you feeling? Do you any injuries? Anything? Anywhere?
Nothing's broken.
Okay. All right. Here, let me get you inside. So once we get back to the communal haven, he'll make sure to provide like his strength, so she doesn't have to like deal with that on her own, and
Mhm.
walks her inside and helps her out with whatever she needs, getting changed, or getting her to her room or the bathroom to get cleaned up and all that stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Lily will get her some substance, like something to drink, maybe something to eat.
Okay. Since you're at the communal haven at this point, you can see that there is a chart that has been added to the fridge at this point. Who takes what and when.
Okay.
Yep, that's not a surprise.
And then next to that, there's also one for ice cubes.
Has Remus been back?
He might have been. I haven't been paying attention to that, honestly.
There's a chart on the fridge for ice cubes.
Oh, okay. So,
So we have to log every time we use an ice cube.
It's specifically for the ice trays to make sure that they're constantly filled.
Yeah, Lily's just gonna shake her head. She's gonna put the damn ice in the cup. She's not gonna mark it off because she don't give a shit right now. And she's gonna
Roll
walk
your
out
humanity. No, I'm just kidding.
no.
uh,
For ice cubes.
and she's going to bring the food and the water to Cindy.
Okay.
Revis is going to head back over to Enzios
Alrighty.
and check and make sure things are going relatively well at this point. And
By this point, Anzios is closing up.
okay,
So
just wait.
it's about
Make
that
sure
time.
He'll make sure they close up, and then he'll be done. He'll have done his and our good deed for the day.
While that's happening, and while Cindy is like getting cleaned up and everything, Ben's going to text Shannon again to see if he gets any response. Be like, "Hey, Pawn Star, haven't heard from you. You alive?" Send.
Okay. No response.
Okay. Hmm.
And so I mean, Cindy at this point, she's nibbles a little bit, but otherwise she doesn't. She doesn't do much of anything. She again very, pulls her knees up close to her chest and just kind of hugs her legs and her knees, I should say, and just kind of keeps to herself.
Lily's kind of grinding her teeth because she really wants to rip somebody's throat out.
So then Ben's gonna walk over to the two of them and be like, "So I still can't get a hold of Shannon. I don't know what's going on there. I don't like it."
Shannon disappeared after we visited the enclave, correct?
Well, she hasn't changed.
At
Yeah, she
some
hasn't.
point, yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't returned their calls.
You do know that guy paid attention to her, right? And she made several comments while we were there about returning.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's not like her not to answer her phone.
Phones don't work there.
Ben, maybe we should make a call to Dr. Prescott, see if he can come over and stay with Cindy, maybe talk to her.
Who's a Dr. Prescott?
Dr. Prester.
No, Prester, sorry.
Yeah, he's a doctor and psychotherapist who's in town, who's one of us.
Yeah,
But
he helps out when we have trauma.
yeah,
but she's definitely has a
So
sign of trauma. She's traumatized, and I think it'd be good to have Dr. Prester here. And let's go see what we can find out about Shannon.
she's mortal, this form, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Cindy. Yeah.
I take it you came back once you checked on Anzios? Steven?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Because
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Nope.
no problem.
Good question. Because Ben, I'm like, if she's mortal. Oh wait, never mind. You guys have the whole. Yeah.
He's
Not a suggestion.
he's helped her out before.
You're not a. It's not a suggestion. So yeah, you wouldn't want her. Yeah. Never mind. I was thinking that there were some otherworldly skills that would be applicable that might ease her mental anguish, but yeah.
No, he's helped her out before when she first came back to us.
Okay, that's fine. Because sometimes it's just best if the memory isn't there.
Right.
And
Right.
he can do that as well. Lily will call Dr. Prester and fill him in on what has happened in the last 24 hours and see if he would be willing to come over and just give her a one good once over.
Of course. I'm sure we can work some sort of payment arrangements out later, but
Most
I
definitely.
should be over in about 30 to 45 minutes.
Thank you, Doctor.
So he's coming
So-
over.
Yeah, so let him know that the doc's coming.
All right.
Do we know what clan the shrink is?
I think he's Victoriador.
I don't
Not
remember.
entirely sure.
Just curious.
I don't remember if we ever asked him.
Yeah. Thought I heard
The way
us-
Jerome's looking down, I'm going like, yep.
It actually did
Yeah.
come up. But apparently no one remembers. So
Yes.
Been too long.
yeah,
The
from that
Shrink
particular scene, yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah. And it hasn't been brought up since. So
No,
yeah.
no, it has
she
not.
don't remember.
So Ben will wait and sit with Cindy until the doc gets there, and then once he starts talking to her, then he'd be willing to talk to the others and be like, at this point, I'm thinking I need to head over to Shannon's pawn shop, see what's going on, see if I can figure something out. I mean, I sent Jesse over there, recently, but he couldn't find anything. But maybe we missed something.
Okay.
Lily's going to be out front waiting for the doctor.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're trying to ask him, or are you just going to let him deal with Cindy?
We're going to let him deal with Cindy. He's better
Sure.
at this than any of them are.
Are you staying there while he does this then, Lily?
If you will go with Ben, I will stay with Cindy.
Yeah, because
If that's okay with you, Cindy.
She just shrugs at this point.
Okay. Why don't you guys go find out what's going on with Cindy, with Shannon, and I'll stay here.
Thanks,
Let's
babe.
go.
She's going to give Ben a kiss, and she'll give Revis a hug. I mean, he deserves it. Thank you, Revis, for what you've done tonight.
No problem. It's really no problem. But
No.
please,
I owe you.
It's a PDA.
Just- yeah. About never mind. This whole humanity thing is just really.
Although I only hug those I care about. So just keep that in mind.
That's even more scary on my side of the coin, for the record. But thank you.
Okay.
So not Revis's thing.
Right.
Sure. So where?
Right.
And by the way, Dr. Prester looks like a pretty. He looks like your typical, like the way they envisioned it in the 70s and 80s. Anybody who was a nerd or intelligent always had the very
The
straight
glasses.
laced look, the glasses, short cut hair, sort of thing. He gives that impression. You know, he's not anything stunning to look at. He's but he looks like he's probably very competent and confident in his information. But he's also reserved. He's not somebody that goes out of his way to be bombastic or anything. So very very even keeled sounding by voice and demeanor. So that's kind of a description of Dr. Presto.
No tattoos.
No.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, he's straight laced.
Yep.
Okay.
Straight
No
edge.
ring. No rings.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Nothing to give away, clan.
Oh yeah, no, nothing like that.
Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So
So you two were taking off. How are you beginning your investigation for Shannon?
Headed to forfeit here first to see if he can find any clues or whatnot around the establishment first.
okay.
Okay.
So we're stopping outside the shop.
Yeah.
And bring me up to speed.
All
Shannon,
right.
I know went missing that actually the next day because I was around for when she was discovered to be missing, which was the next day after we visited the exclusive location.
Yeah, all we know is she just suddenly went missing. She normally responds. Haven't heard back from her. She owns this forfeit here pawn shop, but
Well, interesting. It probably shouldn't be left vacant any longer.
well, yeah. Let's see what we can find here. So Ben gets out and he cases the area outside first to see if first I take it the place is closed right now.
Yeah, it's still showing the close sign.
Jerome, Lily's going to think of something and she's going to send Ben a quick text. Check to see if her ghostly buddy is around.
Okay. And Ben's gonna be like, "Hey Doogie, if you're in the area,
Reva seriously
Make it known to me."
talking.
Lily was really hoping that he'd use Auspex.
Oh,
he hasn't been successful with it recently, so he's just doing normal stuff right now."
Okay, yeah. So you're just talking out loud.
Yeah.
Nothing. Why don't you give me a wits and awareness check?
Okay. One success.
Okay. So you're looking around and talking out loud a little bit, pacing around the building a touch to investigate it again. And as you kind of walk around the corner from the front, there's really nothing else going on here outside of some thumping of music not far away from the bar. But two pigeons are watching you. Normally pigeons are like do 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 do, like their heads look like they're curious about everything around them.
Yeah.
As you're walking around, both of them just kind of like in unison. They just watch wherever you're walking.
Okay. So I'm looking at them, and then I pull up, and then Ben pulls out his phone and he texts Mr. Vidius and says, "Are you watching me with pigeons right now?" Sent.
Okay, so you get a text back, a smiley face. Are we in front of forfeit now?
Yes, we are.
Then we are watching.
Well then, do you have any idea what's happened to Shannon? We're looking for her. Sent.
Oh, so he sends another text. Best that I could tell that she left in the afternoon. I have my people. He refers to them obviously as people. I have my people watch this place because it seems to be a great source of information on the neighborhood.
Do you know if anyone was with her, or did she just leave on her own?
By car, walk.
Sends a text message back. My people say that she left by herself and put up the close sign.
All right. Thanks for that. She's not responding to me. I'm going to go inside and see if I can figure out why she's doing this. Send that.
Okay. You get a thumbs up emoji back.
So Ben walks over back to the car and like bends over to Revis, and he's like, all right, so apparently I've got word that she did leave on her own. She's the one who put up the close sign and everything. I still don't know why she's not responding, so I'm going to head inside and see if she's left anything.
Okay. Revis gets up and
How you get inside?
So first looks around. Is there like anybody, like human beings or anything, like watching us as we're in front of this pawn shop? Or
Well, there is a little bit of activity down the street. I did state that there was a bar, so maybe. Why don't you both give me perception and alertness checks
okay,
to put your heads on the swivel and see if you can spot anybody.
perception is 2. That's 5.
Difficulty 6.
10, 9, 5, 9, 7.
5 successes here.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys look around. Nobody's watching you per se, but there are 2 people hanging out in front of the bar right now. They're currently having a smoke.
Okay.
I look over at Ben. How are you going to get in? It's a pawn shop. It has to have alarms.
Do I know from before if she had that advanced of a system here where there's an alarm, or would it just be a physical lock?
Oh no.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, this place on the outside looks like Fort Knox. It's a pawn
okay.
shop in the world of darkness. They're
Okay.
gonna secure their stuff.
Gotcha. So then he's looking up and he's like, yeah, that's a good point. I don't have anything that bypasses that type of security. I mean, could go in and try to deal with it, but I'm not an electronics guy.
Who did you send last time that got it?
Well, they didn't go in. They just cased the joint around, like outside. So nobody's been inside yet. I don't have a
Nobody's
key or anything.
been inside.
No.
Jerome, walk around.
Okay.
Doors, windows. What I'm looking for is like a lower casement window, like a sub basement or something like that. Anything like that?
You don't see anything like that here. Not windows wise. The building's big enough. It's possible, but you don't see any windows for it.
Okay. Well, what time do we have at night, Jerome?
You're looking at about 11:30 right now.
Realistically speaking, if I reached out to, I'd probably use a contact at this point, and asked for someone with lock pickings or locksmithing skills, I think is the term I'd use.
Okay.
And if they were interested in earning, say, an extra, late at night, it's got to be $1,000, say $1,000 to help me solve a problem with a lock, if there was someone available.
Maybe. Why don't you give me a charisma and leadership check?
Charisma is 4, leadership is 2.
That's going to be a difficulty of 8.
Okay.
Ooh.
99451.
Nice.
So 2. Okay. Oh, actually, no. You got a 1, so 1.
Yep, only 1.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So you make your call, and they're like, basically they tell you that it is really late. They could have somebody do it, but it's probably going to cost extra.
How important is it to be in tonight, Ben?
I mean, she didn't seem like she was in danger. I don't need to put you out if it's going to cost you like an arm and a leg or something to do
It's
this.
not going to cost me an arm or leg, but it'll cost $2,000.
I'm not made of money like some of the
Huh?
others here in Ashland.
Okay. Jerome, what I'll do is I'll make an arrangement to meet the gentleman on the next night.
Okay.
Tell him customer says it's not a rush, so if I could meet the gentleman on the next evening, and we could take it from there. And I'll put 500 up now.
Okay.
And the other 500 up for when the job's done.
Okay. That'll work.
All right. There we go.
All right. Well, in the meantime, then, let's see. Does she live at this same place too, or does she have a separate apartment? Jerome?
She actually lives here.
She does. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and would you have to go through the pawn shop in order to get where she lives, or is that like a? Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Either the back loading area or through the front door.
Okay. Let's see here. All right.
I have another option I need to take a look at. Not quite sure how they do that in this one. Let's take a look, Steve.
Okay. He's going to go ahead and send one more text to Mr. Vidius.
Okay.
And say, what is he going to say? Okay, he'll be like, can't get into her place without causing a ruckus. Do you have any way for your people to find where she's at?
So he says, sure, I could spread the word. If you want to exchange a we'll call it a minor favor for the information.
Fine by me. That'll work.
Okay. Sends another thumbs up emoji and says his people will start looking around the city. And then he asks, "Are you having problems getting in?"
I can deal with physical locks, not big on technology for the alarm. We already have somebody, but they'll come by tomorrow night.
Is this an emergency?
If you're offering to get in tonight easily, that'd be great, because this is strange behavior for Shannon.
So he sends another text and he says, just do something about the power and I'll have somebody in.
Okay. So Ben goes over to Revis, is like, we might actually be able to get this done faster. If we can find the main power shunt that goes to the building and cut that, then might be able to get in. So Ben then starts looking around to see if he can find like the power box or whatever to turn everything off.
So why don't you guys both give me perception and alertness checks? Difficulty 7, just because it's at night. They still stand out, but it's dark.
Yep. 10. Nope. I got a 10 and a 1. No successes.
Okay.
7 successes.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So Revis, even though you know what you're supposed to be looking for, you're probably just keeping an eye on those two guys hanging out front of the bar, just making sure they don't start looking your way, in the wrong way. Benjamin, you quickly kind of look around real quick, and you spot it. It's across the street.
Okay. Does it look like I'd be able to access it and like deactivate it without trouble? Or
You'd have to break the lock or pick it, but I mean, otherwise that's really the only thing that's there.
Okay. And is that in clear view of other people who might be like watching me do that?
The lock itself is on the other side, so I mean, they would see you fidgeting with something, but it could be anything ranging from you taking a leak to trying to get into the box.
Okay. I'll risk it. I'll go ahead and try to pick that lock with this larceny skill that he's got.
Well, first, give me a dexterity and stealth check
Okay. Okay.
as you start creeping across the street, trying to stay out of public view.
Right. Four successes.
Okay. So you reasonably certain keeping to the shadows and slowly kind of slinking across, making sure no cars are like coming at that point in time. Get across no problem to the control box and kind of duck down so that way you're not super obvious.
Cool.
So go ahead and pick the lock.
All right. Two successes.
Okay. Takes you a little bit longer than you anticipated, but you pop it off.
All right. All right. Go in and deal with cutting the power to. Is it obvious? Like, would I be cutting out the power to like the whole block?
They are
like...
labeled, but yes,
Okay.
You're going to cut the power to this particular block.
Okay.
So the bar and this pawn shop plus the vacant buildings that are right next to it, they're all going to lose power.
Probably got about 20 minutes till someone shows up.
Yep. Here we go. Clock starts now, and he goes ahead and shuts the power.
Okay, so
Once he
click.
sees things goes off, and he goes ahead and
I mean, you hear the audible click of the sound, shutting
Yep.
off like you normally would.
right. Okay. Okay.
The thumping that came from next door is like completely gone, and it's dark here. So
Okay.
getting back across the street, no problem.
Right. Okay. Yep. He's making his way then to the door to the the pawn shop then, and now that the power's off, he'll go ahead and just see if he can pick the lock, the physical lock here to get in.
Sure, go ahead.
Jerome, while he's doing that, do backup lights come on inside the pawn shop?
Yes. I mean, it's not super lit, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the emergency flood lighting that you have come on.
Mhm.
Kind of backlits a lot of stuff.
7 successes.
Okay.
I'm going to go into obfuscate at this point.
Okay.
because
So,
it's- Yep.
Revis, no Revis. So you're jiggling around with with the main lock for the metal grate door that's there, and you get that undone, and then you hear something pawing on the other side of the door.
Is it like glass I can see through or anything? Or?
Yeah, but there's like ads and crap that's in the way, so it's almost totally obscured.
Okay.
But then the lock ends up flipping, and something heavy is up against the door, and then you hear like something hitting like the chain locks that were in the way, and you hear meh, meh, meh.
Who does the animation for this? I mean, talking pigeons, and you probably have an animated man suit in arms or something in there.
Okay, get ready for what's behind here. And if it's unlocked, Ben goes ahead and he's preparing himself.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. Yeah.
Okay, he goes ahead and opens the door, ready for whatever's there.
You see a big ass mountain lion. And it just looks at you and it says, "Meh, meh."
Right. Okay, how
And,
did you get in here?
and as you ask that, you see it like kind of saunters back off through the through the shop, and it, because it's a cat,
Yeah.
leaps up like on top of a shelf and then leaps up into like a big air vent
Oh,
and hauls itself in. And you can see like where it had come in, like the grate is like right on the ground, like parts of this were ungraceful,
right.
but
Let's get inside and close the doors.
Yeah, right. Head in, close the door. Go ahead and lock it from the inside.
sure.
Sure. First thing I do is look for the alarm panel.
So it's there. I mean, it's clearly off, obviously, but it's
Is
there.
there a cable coming out of it?
There is.
I cut it.
Okay.
That way, when
how,
the
do,
power comes back on,
how do you cut it?
I take out my pocket knife and just,
Ooh, that's
because it should be just
no.
should be just electrical
It's not.
cable.
It's not just like a little cable like that. It's like it's
Okay.
got the metal housing on it. So
Oh,
you're
okay.
gonna need
So
something
it,
to like chop it pretty hard with or something. You can't just
okay.
snip
I
it.
thought it was nope. Then just leave it alone.
Okay.
If I don't have, I didn't come with cable cutters. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, as a pawn shop, you could look for something in here.
Yeah. While we're searching, if I come across something, it's fine. If not, I just wanted.
Okay. So then now Ben heads over to let's see. Well, he'll see if he can actually get into her pad, wherever that's located. Now that we're in her shop.
Yeah, it's to get through the back. And
Okay.
Stephen, as you guys are walking past like the secured glass shelves or cases, I should say, you can see that she's got like a couple hatchets and machetes in here. Something that if you took a good swing, it would easily sever that.
Okay, I'm going to stop to do that. And Jerome, the other thing I'm going to do, because it is not well lit in here, is I'm going to activate my protean skill. So I
Eyes
have,
of the beast.
Mhm.
Okay, sure.
And I can see quite clearly. And I'll go back and take my swing and cut the cable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. So yeah, you get yourself a sizable enough weapon that with a good swing or two, just it's chopped.
Okay. And then, I'm going to briefly look around while Ben goes up, and then I'm going to follow him up to the upper level. I'm just making sure that it doesn't seem like anything other than the cat and us have been here.
Okay.
At this point, I'm assuming there'd be dust that'd be disturbed or something like that, some sign that stuff had been moved.
There is some dust, but it's all centered around where the vent was.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's the mountain lion coming in through here probably kicked up some residuals from the vent or whatnot, and when it came through it coated everything in that vicinity. Otherwise,
Okay.
it looks like the shop was just closed. Nothing really seems out of place. And Ben, when you get to the back,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a little studio. It's not. There's no like additional rooms really, with the exception of a restroom that has a shower. But the studio itself, or loft, for lack of a better term, it's spacious for a one person. I mean, you would want more than one person in here, but spacious for a one person. Like two dressers, there's a bed, there's a desk. Obviously the bathroom is a separate room, but otherwise that it's kind of Spartan.
Okay. He's looking around, especially like her desk or anywhere where it looks like she's got papers or like does stuff, where he's looking for clues as to whatever has caused her to suddenly pack up and leave without telling me.
Okay. As you both kind of rummage through the place, it doesn't look like anything was packed up.
Okay.
So there's nothing here indicating that she never intended to come back. There's no like drawers missing a bunch of clothing or anything of that nature. Like it's all, it's all there.
Okay.
There's papers strewn out on the desk, but the papers are all business related. Bills, things to pay. There's a couple letters from like other pawn stores that that come through. Mostly it's just like business mail, like networking, or in other cases like alerts for be on the lookout for this weapon or this person coming in the store. The type of things that pawn shops would share with one another, like for law enforcement reasons.
Okay.
Keeping your head and neck on and not getting it tied up to the wrong individual because you bought something or accidentally laundered something or whatever.
Okay.
So there's some of that. But otherwise, going through here, you don't see anything that would indicate why she would just up and leave, which makes it more odd than solves it, really.
Right.
Is there anything like a notepad by the phone, something someone would write on?
No. But the office does have, the pawn shop itself does have something like that.
Okay, then I would go back and take a look at that. See if it's got writing on it, or B, if whatever was on there it's just blank.
It's actually, there's a lot of math, like perhaps she was hand calculating out taxes on something, or
Okay.
so it doesn't seem to be anything super important. But you do see the phone the type of phone that she has is one of the corded phones, so it's not like a cell phone, and because but it has a remote handset. And because that has a separate power source, you could look at that for the last calls that came in.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check and see what the numbers are. Just tell me how many numbers. We don't have to get exact.
5.
Okay.
There's a total of 5 numbers on there. Last one that came in was around 11:30 in the morning.
Okay, so that would have been the call prior to her leaving, based on what we know.
Correct.
Okay. I go back upstairs and tell them I found some phone numbers. I've got the last one that she took before she left. Are you finding anything else useful here?
Nothing in here. I'm going to do a special sweep, see if I can find anything that way. And then after that, we'll see if we can track that number. So then Ben goes ahead and first in the loft area, he'll use aura perception to see if there's anything weird that he can detect.
Sure.
That's a big no. No successes there.
Okay.
So then he'll try the same thing downstairs.
Go ahead.
That is better. 4 successes.
Okay. So looking around, downstairs in the pawn shop directly, you do end up finding, as a matter of fact, the hand axe that Revis has is glowing faintly.
You've got a special axe there. There's something going on with it. Did you do something to it?
Reeves just kind of looks at him. Me? No, I don't possess any Sedite magic whatsoever.
Right. Anyway. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the only thing I'm seeing down here. All right.
What is it you think you're seeing?
I don't know. It's just weird. Like it has some weird aura about it, and normally
Wait,
objects.
the hand axe has an aura?
Yeah, like it's glowing and it's strange. Like it normally doesn't happen with weapons or anything else. Like that's gray, it's nothing. That's nothing, but that's got some color to it.
But you do recall that ring. You picked up on that when it was glowing.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So then with that, he goes, the only other thing I've seen like that actually is a ring that acted like a fetter. So you might be holding onto Doogie's fetter? It's an axe? Huh. Oh. Hold on. Here. Can I hold that for a second?
Grievous kind of looks at him and goes, "You sure you don't want to wrap your cloth before you lay your hands on it?"
I'm not stealing it, and she's my ghoul.
Oh, well, that makes a difference. Then here you go.
Okay.
You leave out the important parts when you're talking to me.
Yeah. All right. So he's holding on to it, and with that, then he's gonna just kind of open himself up, like as far as awareness goes, and be like, "Hey, Doogie, does this work? Can you hear me, man? Anything?"
Okay, so bag of chips flies off one of the shelves. It's one of those like real small, resellable, probably like 50 cent.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay. It's here. Dang.
Grievous
Doogie,
is puzzled.
and then he looks at Revis like, right, details. She's a medium, and Doogie is her spirit friend.
And she feeds him chips?
No, but that tells me he's here. Okay.
Why don't you look for like a piece of chalk or?
Yeah, exactly. So looking around, and he's gonna do like what happened at the at Madame like Brigitte's place. Does he find anything that can be like a powder that he can like set up on a desk or anything? Like, does she have any flour or baking soda or
Yeah, you can
anything?
do something like
Okay.
that. Sure.
Grabs that. He does the thing. And he's like, "Okay, Doogie, I don't know how strong you are, but I've seen other ghosts make like, things here. You move that thing of chips. Can you write out a word here for me? Anything?"
No, I wouldn't have said anything. You're talking to a ghost.
So you get a very simple like 2 dots and then a smiley face.
Yes. Okay.
But it's slow. It's not something that that you would expect somebody like handwriting. So
Okay.
it could be difficult to do.
Sure. Okay. So you can kind of smooths that over. So it's reset. It's like, okay, I'm going to make it easy for you because I get last time when you were talking to us in our minds that drains you. So I'm guessing this does too. Is Shannon okay? A Y for yes or an N for no?
Okay. So I think you got a reroll, Ben.
Oh.
I think Furbebs is supposed to be you.
Oh.
So you're the closest one to that. Okay. So so you get a question mark.
Okay.
He's out of touch with her.
Yeah, well, I mean, she left his fetter here and he didn't go with her.
Wait a second. Ask him if she left by her own will.
Do you know if she left by her own will?
You get an N with a question mark.
Okay. So it seems like she didn't really want to leave, but she did. Okay.
Because she's a mortal, which means she can be influenced?
Well, that or scared or...
No, she locked up. Posted the close sign. You're not horribly scared if you take the time to do all those things.
Right. Huh. She didn't take anything, so she didn't.
She wasn't afraid for the shop.
I've, I don't know who would have done this, but I've known. Apparently, some of us can do this too. I'm not there yet, but with the vampire charm, that's the word for presence. Presence. If you get good enough in that, I've seen people doing this where you can get people to come to you if you've talked to them before.
Really, presence.
Yeah.
Just in the way of free knowledge, Sedites have presence. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. All right. I mean, I'm wondering if that's what's happening. I haven't done that. I'm not there yet, but because apparently you have them come to you and they just stop what they're doing and make their way. I don't know if
You're talking about summon.
that's it. Yeah. So have you done that before?
Not since I woke. It's rather, in many circles, a summon is considered rude, to put it bluntly. Especially since a lot of the times, if it's a new vampire and they get summoned and they accidentally die before they return, it's looked upon badly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, especially with cell phones now, you can just call people wherever. But I mean, apparently, whoever's doing this wasn't doing it nicely. I don't know anybody else who'd have this type of control over her. Although,
How many elders do you have in town? 3 that I know of.
I mean, a few. Yeah, I don't know if all of them have that type of power. I'm just going out on a limb here as far as what could happen if it's beyond her will and she just suddenly left.
Doesn't seem like it.
No. All right.
So, anyhow, how much time do we have left before we think power is going to come on, Jerome, or has it already come on?
It hasn't as of yet.
So, a couple more minutes, I would guess, before.
But yeah, you're in that window at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So, does Doogie go where the fetter goes?
I'm pretty sure that's how. Here. Where I go, if I'm holding your fetter, will you be able to come with me, Doogie?
Writes a Y.
All right. Yeah. You can
All
go
right.
with.
So, why don't we do the relatively smart thing? Vacate the premise while the lights are still out.
Yep.
I'll reassume obfuscate so that at least one of us isn't going to be seen going out the front door. And leave this area because the police are going to see that power is deliberately cut.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's take off. All right. Coming with Doogie. And he kind of he puts that like in his belt loop or something. So he's got it's like a hatchet or like a full on axe or something.
No, it's a hatchet.
Hatchet. Okay.
Hand axe. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So he's got that hatchet then. Yep. Exit. Make sure that Rivas can leave and go obfuscate, close, lock it, do all the other locking stuff, and then head into the car and open the door so that Rivas can go in while obfuscated too.
Okay. And then you guys vacate. And that is where we're going to stop it for today. 2.5 hours in. So huzzah.
Huzzah.
Our next game then is coming up May 12th for Ashland by Night. So we'll be picking up, God only knows what's going to happen there at this point. But yeah, so Ashland by Night on the 12th, and then Modern Age Heroes on the 13th. They're going to be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, respectively. So thank you guys all for playing. Thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully Fur Beb is going to make it back again sometime. Thank you, Unlord of Ashes, for following. Much appreciated.
Hey.
Hopefully you tune in for the our other Ashland by Night, which is just adjacent of this. And here is our website that has all of our game info on it. as well as backstory, locations, and so on and so forth if you want to learn any more. So thank you all for tuning in, and you guys have a good one. Good night, guys. Or good day.
Night all.